The phone rang just after midnight. I picked it up before the second ring. A voice came through, smooth but menacing, the kind of tone that had been trained for intimidation. My nephew got carried away with your daughter. He's reckless, immature, but understand this, we run this town. Stay quiet, or you'll pay with your life. I glanced out the window. The street outside was still, shadows stretching long, yet I could feel eyes lingering on me. Cities have predators. They follow codes, but I've survived far darker arenas. My reply was colder than I expected. I was the CIA station chief in Moscow. You think you know power? You don't. You have 30 minutes to deliver the boy, or there won't be another chance. The line went dead after a pause. 20 minutes later, another call came. Not from him, never from him. It was his consigliera, trembling, his voice cracking with fear. My God, what are you? I didn't feel monstrous. I felt empty. Because this wasn't only about my daughter. It was about betrayal. She hadn't told me. She'd hidden it, downplayed it, laughed it off as teasing. Not worth making a fuss, she'd said with that thin smile she got from her mother, the one that meant she was lying to protect someone. I knew the patterns too well. Secrets. Always secrets. I remembered her at the kitchen table, her phone placed face down, her voice wavering as she told me not to worry. That was the real betrayal, not the mob, not their threats, but her silence. Her instinct to shut me out, as if my presence was more dangerous than the men circling her. I couldn't show her my fury, couldn't let her see the storm inside me. So I kissed her forehead, nodded, and pretended to believe her. Meanwhile, I started digging. Old habits resurfaced, phone logs, anonymous reports, cameras I'd hidden years ago. My skills weren't gone, just dusty. His nephew's name appeared quickly. I tracked his photos, his routines, his careless movements. He lived like his uncle's power made him untouchable. But I wasn't just watching him. I was watching her. Late-night texts. A second phone. A sudden friend. She saw weekly. A boy who dropped her off but never at our door. The nephew wasn't her only secret. The web twisted tighter, her silence weighing heavier. Outwardly, I was calm. I played the part of a steady father. But inside, I was already charting the cracks forming within my own family. The mob didn't wound me nearly as much as her effort to hide herself from me. Then came the evidence. A copy of his messages. Explicit, cruel, not harassment but ownership. And worse, her replies. Hesitant, afraid, pressured, manipulated. She had been cornered, and still, she hadn't turned to me. I printed it all, laid it out across the dining table, and waited. When she walked in and saw the papers, she froze. Her lips parted, eyes darting from me to the stack. I didn't shout. I didn't move. I just asked, "How long were you going to let him silence you?" Her face crumbled. Tears poured, raw and messy. But I remained still, stone-faced. In that moment, I wasn't her father. I was judgment. The next morning, I walked into the boss's restaurant. No weapons in sight. I slid the stack across his table. His jaw tightened. His eyes flickered with recognition. "She's lying," he said with a forced smile. I leaned closer. She wasn't the only one keeping secrets. I have your nephew's browsing history, his encrypted calls, and the offshore account you think is hidden. If you want this buried, you'll give him to me alive. For the first time, I saw fear cross his face. He summoned his consigliera. Do it. And just like that, his empire cracked. They handed me the boy, begging for silence. I didn't lay a hand on him. Didn't end him. I handed him to the police with evidence so airtight it smothered. When I returned home, I didn't speak to my daughter. Not yet. She needed to feel the weight of her silence before she could understand mine. At dinner, she tried to thank me. Her voice wavered with guilt. I said nothing. Because it wasn't about gratitude, it was about truth. And the truth was clear. The mob feared me. The city whispered my name. But the wound that cut deepest had come from my own blood. So I let her sit in silence, knowing it weighed more than any bullet. And as I cleared my plate, one final realization settled in. I didn't need her trust. Only her fear of ever lying to me again.